winning. You put winning people on the floor.
You know, I want the farewell gift that we gave Gary Vitti back, because the legendary Laker trainer said he retired. It was only a semi-retirement. And Gary now joins us here, is back with the Lakers in a different capacity than you have been in different years. But you couldn't stay away, huh? Does that mean Kobe's coming back next too?
Absolutely not.
You just slept walk here, didn't you? Just by habit. You just can't. Good to see you, man.
I've been doing pretty well. I was really nervous coming up here, not knowing. I mean, it's sort of an undefined thing, but I just sort of slid right into this semi-retirement thing, and it's great being on the sideline but not being on the firing line.
How different was last year for you and the organization? Was it weird?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, it was Kobe's swan song. Everything was directed that way. And as a result, it was probably most difficult on our young players because the way Kobe went out isn't really the way you want to bring young guys in. So it was sort of opposing forces, and we were trying to do everything we could to make it work.
What did work?
What did work?
Yeah. Don't look at the 17.
Okay. Kobe and I worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That was really good. I never saw Kobe in the 20 years that I worked with him so happy. And I think, and I said this to him, I think the reason why you're so happy is because you know we have absolutely no shot of a ring this year. Mm. And so once you took that off of his plate, then he could sit back and enjoy being Kobe Bryant. Okay? Where if that was a possibility, then he had to be the Mamba. He couldn't be Kobe. So last year you really saw a glimpse of Kobe Bryant as a human being.
Now 20 years together, you two shared that training room. A lot of conversations.
Yeah.
What were the conversations like this past year as you guys sat there and taped up, and what went through you guys' minds?
I mean, it was reminiscent in nature. You remember when, you remember this, and it didn't really follow any theme. Things would pop into your head, and you blurt it out, and then all of a sudden you just go for 20 minutes, in terms of our tenure and history together. I spoke at a class here yesterday, and some things came up about Kobe. And I said, whatever you think of Kobe Bryant, there's 5 things that you cannot take away from him. And one is that he was talented. But as you know, he was not the most talented. There were other people that had more talent than him, but we're going to give him talent. 2, he worked harder than anyone I've ever worked with. 3, he was more competitive than anyone that I ever worked with. He grew up with my daughters, right? And he would beat them. He would cheat in a game of tiddlywinks with my little girls to win. I mean, he has to win. Mm-hmm. So his competitive spirit is beyond none. And he was tougher than anybody that I had ever worked with. And intellectually, he is brilliant. And whatever else you want to say about him, you have those 5 things, and it was a great honor to spend 20 years with him, because even in the 20th year, I was still in awe of the things he could convince himself to do.
Well, how about the last thing he did was something we'd never seen him do, and what are you thinking with all the patchwork and super glue and whatever else you used to get him on the court the last few years, watching him take 50 shots?
Yeah. Well, you knew that's the way he was going to go out. Okay? The most unbelievable thing that I think I ever saw him do, which was sort of a ridiculous thing to do, but when he ruptured his Achilles, I don't know if you know this, he actually
shot the free throw.
No, before that he reached back and tried to pull it down.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I don't know what he was thinking. Like, you're going to reattach your own Achilles tendon. Then he told me, he goes, I think maybe I can run on my heel. And I had to let him work through these thoughts for a few seconds until I could finally say, listen, you're done. But I'll let you shoot the free throws if you want. And then we'll foul. Dead ball will get you out of the game. I said, I'm shooting them. And, then we went back in the back and threw a couple Gatorade bottles around.
They would be body armors today.
That's right. Yeah.
Kobe ever the evolving athlete. You've been around some of the greats. You've seen them go from rookie status to, in case of Kobe, legendary status. When you watch these young men on this team, because they're young, what is your hope for them? What have you seen from them that gives Laker fans hope?
Yeah. You know, Mitch put me on the spot the other night. He didn't tell me he was going to do this, but he asked me to get up and say a couple things to the players. And what I said to them, because I think we have a really nice young group of kids, I said to them, I want you to understand that you are playing for a storied franchise. And there's not many in the world. You could say the New York Yankees, you could say Manchester United. We're that franchise. And there's been a lot of blood and sweat, and some of it is your blood and sweat, that went into putting those banners on the walls. And now it's your responsibility to wear that jersey with Lakers on the front. You bear that responsibility to be a Laker. It's special to be a Laker. It's different than putting another jersey on. I'm sure other teams that would hear me say this right now are not happy with what I'm saying. But I feel, that this franchise is special. Right? And you need to act that way on the court, off the court, play hard, you play to win. And that's the message that I left these young kids, and I think they received it well. We've had a nice spirited training camp so far.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been spirited.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know what they're doing out there, but they're spirited, which is a good start.
When you saw Luke Walton here wearing a jersey, did you have the feeling that one day he could be the head coach of this team?
Not initially, but it became very apparent to me along the way that Luke's basketball IQ was very, very high. And I'll tell you how that was apparent. During timeouts when he wasn't in the game, you could see he was thinking the game, and he had a lot to say, you know, but he wasn't the coach, so he'd say it to me, you know. So he was sort of coaching in his head, and you know.
Did you ever take credit for any of his ideas?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I would listen to him and then repeat, parrot what he said and make it look like I was a really smart guy.
Well done.
Yeah.
Hey, one of the things that's evolved over the years, obviously, in sports medicine is nutrition, and a whole lot's been made of Brandon Ingram, his frame, how much he needs to put on his body. I've heard people debate whether it's healthy or unhealthy to pack on the pounds or how you do it. What's been the approach with Brandon, and how quickly do you try and get that done?
Yeah, I think we have to be really, really realistic. Okay. If you put 20 pounds on Brandon, and I'm just guessing here, just looking at his body, I think that's a lot for him. I think he has some real, what I would call wiry strength. We have him on a very good nutritional program and strength program, and if the pounds go on, then they go on. Okay? I don't think you can force it. I think you have to do it the right way. And I think it's also unfair to compare him, when I look at him, to compare him to Kevin Durant. I like looking at him more as Tayshaun Prince, who had a very slight body and had a very long and successful career. Michael Cooper was a very thin guy, but just because you're not really big doesn't mean you're not strong, functionally strong. Okay, so even,
that's what I've been trying to tell you for years, Rick. See, I'm strong.
Hey, if Brandon needs 20 pounds, he can have 20 of mine.
You can have 20 of mine. Okay.
Gary, you want to go back and look at some old-time video?
Sure.
Wonder when the last time you saw this. Lakers in a few weeks are going to open up the season without Kobe Bryant for the first time since 95-96. You remember that season? Della Harris, the head coach. Team went 53-29, lost in the first round of the playoffs. Magic last year played 32 games. Then the next era was ushered in.
That's what's those are years ago. I mean, what's your definition of contending?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
What's your definition of a contending team?
Sounds like a political debate here. I like this, getting definitions.
To contend for the championship?
That's your definition?
To be a contender. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Like at this point in time, looking at a team and saying they're a contender or they're not.
Yes.
That's the question?
Yes.
I mean, I think if you know the game and you know the personnel that's on the team, but you also have to know the personnel on the opposing teams, you can sort of pencil in wins and losses that you think, okay? And I think in the West this year, and this is a guess, I'm guessing you probably need 45 wins to get into the 8th spot. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to get at least 1 through 8 to get into the show, and then you go from there. So minimum 45 in the West is what my guess would be, but still, most people would think if you're in the 8th spot, you're not a contender. You just got into the first round. I don't know if it's ever been done. I don't think an 8th seed has ever.
In a lockout year.
Yeah.
Well, the Knicks got to the finals.
Yeah. 99.
So I'm not sure if that answered the question, but
yeah, no, I know. I only curious because you've seen all levels of especially this stage in the season. Everyone considers themselves a contender. Record 0-0. Everyone has high hopes. These are all professional athletes have been worked off in the summers, working hard on their craft, and everyone thinks they have a chance to win a championship. We know that's a smaller group of guys than maybe the 30 that think they have a chance. You're at UCSB. You've been to Hawaii, Palm Springs for training camp.
Yeah.
Any particular preference? And how important is it to hit the road as a group in training camp?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to make very many friends with the answer to this question. I personally believe that we have this great facility and everything we need right in LA, and that's our home, and that's where we should be. I think some people feel that way. Some people feel the other way. There's this bonding concept. I don't know. Maybe I should ask you the question because you're the player. My experience with the players is that as soon as they're done here, they go to bed and they get some rest. It's not like they're out bonding together.
Right.
Okay?
No, if you're doing it right, you're sleeping.
Yeah. So I don't really buy in so much as that to that. I guess you can make an argument that there might be too many distractions at home, family, friends, that kind of thing. So you go someplace remote. But I like being in our facility with our banners, with our trophies in the windows, with all the equipment that we need, and practice is right there, and there's a hotel right, through the back door. And you literally walk 50 feet, and you're in your hotel room. That's my philosophy, but I'm not high up enough the food chain to make these decisions.
And so much for retirement.
Yeah. This is pretty cool. I mean, let's call it semi-retirement, quasi-retirement.
Gary Vitti, we appreciate you joining us here on the NBA TV's Real Training Camp Show of the Lakers.
Thanks
legendary trainer of the Lakers. He's semi-retired. You'll be able to see the Lakers and Brandon Ingram in preseason action right here on NBA TV against Jamal Murray and the Nuggets. Friday, October 7th, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific on NBA TV. It's preseason action. We've got more from training camp. We'll hear from the players and coaches as they go through day 4 here out at Santa Barbara.